Hi everybody and welcome to today's video. Today I will be sharing with you my May setup in my bullet journal, and as always before we begin with this setup I'm going to flip through the previous month. And so for April I didn't end up using my planner to the best of its ability again. The first half of the month I was overseas on a holiday with my family, so I didn't feel it was necessary to bring my planner with me. And then once I came back, I wasn't really feeling up to planning so much. I did attempt to, as you can see, but I didn't really end up using it so much until the very end. So I'm hoping for a better month in May. And with that said, let's begin May's cover page. And so for this month, I am going with a autumn theme. I live in Australia, so it is currently autumn at the moment, even though it doesn't really feel like it. It is autumn and I wanted to incorporate the colors of autumn and the changing of the leaves into this month, just because it's the last month of autumn and I really wanted to do it in my bullet journal. I also wanted to do something with bunnies because I really love cute little animals and I wanted to draw bunnies. I also want to try and challenge myself at drawing animals because I'm not the greatest at it, and so I wanted to hopefully get a little bit more better at drawing bunnies throughout the month of May. And so for my cover page I decided to go with a girl holding a bunny with a flower crown and all of the colors and sort of theme of the colors I would be using throughout the month. And so yeah, I'm really happy with how this one ended up turning out. And also, before I continue any further, I slowed down the footage for the cover page quite a bit, so let me know how you guys like it. Do you prefer it at this sort of speed, or would you like it slower or faster? Let me know down below. But for my cover page I decided to go with watercolors because I'm stubborn and I continue to want to use watercolors. So I did end up learning quite a few things from this cover page. It is probably the most full-on cover page I've done since maybe my actual sort of cover page theme for this entire bullet journal. But one of the things I learned was the limit of my bullet journal paper and stuff around that. If you want to use watercolors in your bullet journal as well, I highly recommend taking a page in the back of your journal and dedicating it just to watercolors and testing out how much your paper can handle before it just warps like crazy. So while I was working on my cover page, I have pages dedicated to testing out watercolors and everything and just seeing how it would go. And so really figure out how much your paper can take and what is sort of the best ratio so there's no bleed through and you still get the sort of movability that watercolor offers you. Another thing that I discovered, because I was curious to see how it would end up working out, normally what I do is if I go in with heavy use of watercolors, I will stick two pages together to make it thicker, but also the spread on the other side can be a bit more smoother to work on and write on and everything, because no matter what you do, if you decide to go in with watercolors, the paper will warp a little bit. So just to make the writing a little bit easier to do on the other side, I always stick two pages together. But for this page, I decided to do it before I finished watercoloring, so I had already stuck the two pages together and I found that it ended up warping both of those pages. So if you want to do this sort of trick, watercolor first on that one page and have something underneath it, like another piece of paper or like a cardstock or something to help like support the paper, and then after you've done it, let it dry, then stick 2 pages together, because it will be a lot more smoother and it'll help to sort of flatten out the page as well. And then sort of use a heavy book or something and put pressure on it and help even out the crinkles. So that was pretty much what I ended up discovering from this cover page. Also, in terms of the actual artwork that I did, I am happy with it. I do see a lot of mistakes as like usual, but I'm really happy with it. It is a little bit stiff. I was really frustrated about that because it didn't translate exactly how I done it in my sketch, which I did on a pink sticky note, which I don't know if we've already gone through because I wasn't paying attention. But anywho's, that aside, I'm really happy with this. I'm still practicing and learning watercolors, so I feel like I have improved quite a bit. And I went in with pencils, colored pencils, instead of black pen, because I wanted this to be a little bit more soft. And here I am adding in the white shinies and highlights for the hair. I did go a little bit overboard, but of course you learn from your mistakes. But that aside, I'm quite happy with how this cover page ended up turning out. It might be one of my favorites alongside with February, so let me know what you guys think of it. And that is my cover page. So on to the next spread. For this next spread, I am combining pretty much 4 different pages into one. So I decided to make my calendar small enough that it didn't take up the whole page, but big enough so I could still write in it. So I condensed it down into one little bit of the page. Then next to it, I am making a expense tracker. I am going on a month-long no spend for the month of May, and so I decided to make a very small expense tracker in case I do end up buying stuff, but I made it small with the intention of not being able to fill it up too much. And then underneath those two, I condensed my habit tracker down, and I'm doing a horizontal version of it. And then on the other side, I am making a little goals section, and I am going with 3 of my Tombows. I will list all of the materials that I've used in the description box, along with the colors and sort of color families and codes and all of that sort of stuff, so you guys know what colors I've used. But in terms of the horizontal habit tracker, the Nuuna Notebook dot grid is 3mm, so I can fit the entire month onto one page. But I think if you have a 5mm notebook, which is sort of the standard size, it would go over 2 pages, so keep that in mind. And then for this one, I am going in with little bunnies and falling leaves, and so I had a lot of fun with these and making the little bunnies be doing cute and silly things. That's one of my favorite things to do when I'm drawing animals, and like cute little animals, is making them do funny and silly things and having them interact with each other. But I decided to sprinkle some bunnies along the top and falling leaves. For the leaves, I basically just made a stroke with my Tombow and then outlined it afterwards with a black pen. And I'm really happy with how this one ended up turning out. For the lining, like the line work for these spreads, I used the Staedtler triplus fineliner in the brown just to see what it would look like, and I figured it would help with the theme of the month. Then the next spread that I'm creating is a study calendar / tracker. I have my exams in June, and so I decided to make a study tracker so I could, one, track all of the homework that I'm doing and classwork that I'm doing, but also track the revision that I have to do as well throughout May, and also plan all of that out as you would in a study tracker and study guide sort of situation. So that is what I did with this one. I'm keeping it very simple, and I will be using little stickers in the shape of dots to use as sort of like a checklist. And then at the top I just went in with some bunnies, and I'm keeping this very simple so it doesn't get too cluttered up and I don't get too distracted by everything on this page. So yeah, I have been using it so far, and I have been finding it very useful, so I will give an update and you guys will see how it ends up going in next month. So yeah, after that I am moving on to my weekly spreads, and for my weeklies I'm only going to be setting up 2, and I'm going with a totally different type of weekly spread. I am making a little section for Monday to Sunday, and for that I will only be listing my top priority stuff or main things that I have to do, and then on the other side a master to-do list, so I can just sort of work on it throughout the week and be able to create a long to-do list and break everything down. And then I'm doing the same for the other side. I'm also putting down the month, and also next to it says week 8 and week 9 on this page. That is just referring to the week of the school trimester that I'm in, and I just highlighted the little calendar. So that is my May setup, and this is the flip through. I'm really happy with how this all came out, and it's very condensed and just simplified. I feel like this might end up working out for me for this month because I will be so busy and most likely won't have the time to keep up with having multiple spreads to fill out. So I will give an update on how this ends up working out. But yeah, I hope you all have enjoyed this video, and as always I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!